thought we'd talk today about the Ever Given and the Suez Canal incident. In particular, just how it compares with what narrowboaters have to deal with every time they go boating. There's a lot of similarities between the shapes of modern day ships and narrowboats. When a vessel is in confined waters, there are several factors that come into play. There's something called bank effect, which is what we'll be mainly looking at today, and there is something called squat, which is the same idea, only that it happens in the vertical rather than the horizontal direction. Now, the scale difference between a narrowboat and a ship is quite considerable, but when scaled down, the same effects happen in the same way, and we can show in this canal, which is actually quite a bit bigger than the Suez Canal in comparison, and probably quite a bit deeper as well, but we can show by getting closer to the edge. One of the biggest problems is the increase in speed of the water between the boat and the bank. This creates a low pressure. It pulls the back of the boat towards the bank and pulls the front of the boat away from the bank. Now you think that, well, that would be good, because you don't want to be pointing towards the bank, you want to try and get away. However, you can end up going sideways along the canal with the back of the boat next to the bank, the front of the boat pointing towards the centre, but you actually not heading in that direction because you're forever sucking the water away. To get around this problem, what we must do is reduce that suction. One of the best ways of doing that is taking the boat out of gear, and then this usually allows the vessel to drift away from the bank safely. The Ever Given enters the Suez Canal, and because of the strong winds from the south, that's from the bottom of the map, the ship gets pushed towards the bank. Now, to avoid that happening again, they appear to have increased their speed. This is increasing the bank effect and has them struggling to maintain a suitable course within the canal. At one point they get very close to and apparently stuck on one side of the canal. Eventually this suction breaks, ending them on the other side of the canal, but that's when everything goes very wrong. If the Ever Given was scaled down to the size of Victoria, it would only have a 1/4 of a horsepower engine in it. That's less than the tickover on my JP2. So what could be done to stop this from happening, and how would they get out of this if they were only narrowboat sized? Here you join me where the Ever Given has just managed to break the suction on the right hand bank and is heading towards the left bank. In a correction, trying to keep it straight. Apologies for the audio on the rest of this clip. The stern is still heading towards the bank. Right, put it in a greater correction. Now I'm beginning to wonder whether there's a greater problem. No stern. I'm already going way too fast for the speed limit of the canal. Now I've gone stern, I've lost all steering whatsoever. However, there is still a bank effect. And while I am slowing down, no control over the helm. Now using quite considerably more power than the Ever Given had available to it, because I don't want to get stuck. Bringing all sorts of stuff from the bottom of the canal. In this case, leaf material stuff. I suspect the Suez Canal is actually fairly clean, not having all these trees around it. My bow is just weight and forward momentum of the stern is helping it swing round further and still heading towards the shallows. In the case of the Ever Given, the wind from the stern was helping also. Eventually, it ended up wedged at the front and at the back of the boat, and I don't have a mini tonker digger to help free my bow. Thankfully, I do have a boat hook. And I can push my stern out into deeper water. The front is obviously still stuck. However, with the pole away and the stern heading towards the centre of the canal again, I can put it in reverse. We do seem to be moving. One nice little trick I like to do with Victoria is using the prop wash. As it moves forwards, it will eventually start to push the front of the boat to the left. Being a right hand screw in reverse, most of the water comes off the screw to the right. You see there's a greater disturbance on the right than there is on the left, where there's hardly any. And it just helps push the front of the boat round. Even once I'm in forwards gear now, the water's continuing up forwards and helping me push the front of the boat back into the deeper water. Now it looks like the ducks are going to help as well. However, you can see the amount of space I've needed to swing my stern around to get the front pointing in the right direction again, which is why it's important not to push the stern too far over. Here we are, parallel to the bank on the bottom. The front still seems to be floating, and in an ideal situation you might be able to push the front of the boat to the other side of the canal and try and get out that way. It's harder than you think it would be, because as you try and put the boat into forwards, the shallow canal just won't let the back swing out properly. So the easiest thing to do is get the back of the boat into deeper water. The back of the boat is in deeper water, you have a much greater chance of being able to recover from any problems. Find somewhere secure to put the boat hook, cabin shaft. Push gently, hopefully, and let the back swing out. If your front is already against the bank, it will stay there. My front swung out a little bit, so it's now heading back towards the bank, but that's not a problem. The stern of the boat is in the centre of the canal. We're going to reverse up. So even though we're reversing towards the other bank of the canal, that's going to help a little bit, because when we go forwards again, the stern is still in deep water. Push the tiller over, as command. The vessel falls into line, and we're already in the centre of the canal and underway with a bare minimum of effort, without worrying about what sort of detritus the prop is picking up. is always the easiest way to set off from any mooring. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions, please comment below.